How do you think a fight between you two goes if it does happen?
Same things. I will take him down. He will try to give him guillotine, and I will take his back and choke him.
No technique, no skills. You just literally grab him and you kind of throw him off of you. I'm grappling with Islam once and I try to throw him off of me, but he's still there. And so then I give him a little harder shove and he's still there. Next thing you know, I'm grappling at 100% because the dude's that strong. But again, I had never really grappled with him in that way.
Tensions are boiling over as Islam Makhachev spills secret camp strategies, and Khabib had no idea. In an interview earlier with Henry Cejudo, Khabib Nurmagomedov stated that Ilia Topuria must yet prove himself to battle the top challengers first before he receives a chance against Islam Makhachev. Yet tension brews quietly as Islam apparently spilled some behind-the-scenes training camp tactics, and insiders speculate it was allegedly done so without Khabib's approval.
Because Islam already give chance, and people talk bad about, like, oh, he fight 2 times with Volkanovski, but the UFC push this fight, and this fight was good in first fight, but why Islam have to give 3 times chance for 145 champion? Why? It's not fair for 155 pounds.
Right.
But if he move up and he beat somebody like Charles Oliveira, of course.
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen, on the other hand, didn't see Khabib Nurmagomedov's perspective and came out hard in favor of the Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria bout, despite Ilia's inexperience at 155. Sonnen contended that star power, momentum, and excitement carry as much weight as divisional ranking or heritage, and Ilia has all of that to offer.
You're having a hard time getting Ilia in there with Islam. And Islam's entire situation, or his entire argument is, I've done this not just once, I've done this twice, it's everything to gain for you, and I have nothing, when the reality is, this should be the undisputed champion versus the BMF champion. That's what this should be. Ilia Topuria should be, right now, the BMF champion. And it's not the first time the mistake has been made to walk a BMF champion out there and not make him put his belt up.
Bilal Muhammad, however, concurred with Khabib Nurmagomedov in that Ilia Topuria has a great deal more to prove before being thought of on Islam Makhachev's level. Acknowledging Topuria's potential and undefeated record, Bilal reiterated Khabib's point that beating a dominant champion like Islam takes more than hype and potential.
The people never want to give Team Khabib their respect, right? They want to see them lose so bad. They just want to, shun them and, put hate on them no matter what it is. Where, like, when he beats Volkanovski, who was the pound for pound best fighter in the world at that time in a close fight, it was like, oh, he sucks, blah, blah, he didn't finish him. He should have finished him. He was a 45er. Then he goes out there, finishes him, and it's like, well, Volkanovski was a 45er. So now Topuria, I think he's a little bit smaller than Volkanovski, he's going to move up. And then if Islam dominates him, oh, well, he's a 45er. He could go back down. So there's really nothing to gain for Islam from fighting him. So when he says, oh, let him fight somebody else, earn it, like, he's not saying I won't fight him. He's saying, bro, let him earn it.
Furthermore, Islam Makhachev didn't seem keen on defending his lightweight title against Ilia Topuria, going on record as stating that the fight wasn't for him. Rather, his interest seemed geared toward pursuing legacy-defining chances by cutting up to the welterweight class, 170 pounds. He appears more eager to become a 2-division champion in the footsteps of other all-time greats than to engage with up-and-coming challengers in his existing weight category.
Opportunity to come up and challenge you, right? Ilia Topuria is talking about coming to 155, and you're like, I'm tired of these little people coming up to fight me. But one of your friends, you guys are teammates, you and Bilal,
and I just waiting for my chance, because not make sense give the chance 3rd time from the some guy who come. If I beat I beat the Volkanovski twice, people still say you beat small guy, he's not your weight division. If I beat Topuria, it's gonna be the same. Everybody gonna talk same. But if I go up, takes a 2nd belt, this is a legacy.
Yeah.
I want to be like you,
Daniel Cormier also took Islam Makhachev's original position, concurring that a bout against Ilia Topuria doesn't make much sense in terms of legacy. DC reiterated that although Topuria is a budding star and a formidable fighter, Islam has already established himself at the pinnacle of the lightweight division and is now pursuing legacy-defining moments, like becoming a 2-division champion or fighting established legends.
From Islam's side, he already gave 2 won 45-pound champions title fights. Both of them, Islam won. Now a third time? Okay, let's imagine that Ilia moves up and gets a title shot right away. Islam beats him. Then Ilia fights again. He loses again. So basically, he was a nobody at 155. Islam beat a nobody at 155 because of that time. But because of that, in terms of legacy for Islam, for his resume, I understand Islam's risk.
From appearances, it looks, however, that Islam Makhachev may have had a change of heart, as new videos show behind-the-scenes shots of his camp specifically aimed at preparing for a possible bout versus Ilia Topuria, despite previously showing disinterest in the matchup and expressing a desire to move up to 170 pounds for legacy purposes. Adding to the drama, conditioning video from Islam Makhachev's team has also emerged, depicting him in top shape while making a bold declaration, calling Ilia Topuria a gazelle, ostensibly positioning himself as the predator in this impending face-off. The metaphor is starkly vivid about how Islam sees the dynamic, a hunter on the hunt for his prey.
What do you want to say before running?
Run, everybody run.
Go, start.
When gazelle wake up, run.
Additional video of Islam Makhachev's tough training schedule has surfaced, providing a glimpse into the hard work he's committing to getting ready for the bout against Ilia Topuria. This time around, he's challenging himself in the biting, icy cold of Dagestan, displaying the viciousness of his preparation. Islam Makhachev also shared information about his strict diet, giving an insight into the amount of discipline and concentration he has outside the gym. His diet plan is meant to provide him with the energy for his intense training while keeping him in top shape for the bout against Ilia Topuria.
What do your meals actually consist of?
Today, breakfast, eggs. For the lunch, I have, I think, some chicken, and for the dinner, always they give us fish.
Are you eating carbs or no carbs?
No carbs. This week, no carbs.
What carbs do you eat when you start to?
Rice, potato, nothing special.
Simple shit.
It appears Islam Makhachev is not at all intimidated by Ilia Topuria, as he recently exposed his plan for the fight, which shows he is confident. Instead of going into it cautiously, Islam's strategy suggests he sees Topuria as another obstacle to be overcome. His emphasis is on taking advantage of Topuria's vulnerabilities, while playing off his own strengths, grappling, control, and accuracy.
How do you think a fight between you two goes if it does happen?
Same things. I will take him down. He will try to give him guillotine, and I will take his back and choke him.
Meanwhile, a new video provided by Islam Makhachev's camp depicts an unexpected update, a polished stand-up striking art that he's going to execute against Ilia Topuria. This new skill set of Islam's may prove to be game-changing, since it indicates that he's adapting.
Тагировский апперкот, комбинация. А боковой после апперкота. А боковой после апперкота? Да, он. Вот, отлично, похоже. Да. Он назад не отходил, на месте он. Ой, хорош.
During a recent press conference, Islam Makhachev invited Charles Oliveira to Dagestan and invited him into his corner for the upcoming bout against Ilia Topuria. The offer highlights the mutual respect and brotherhood between the two combatants, with Islam also adding that Khabib Nurmagomedov would also be there to assist in guiding his preparation.
Charles is a good guy. If I can help him one day, he can join with us to the camp, come to Dagestan. They have very good striking, high-level grappling. We can help him with the wrestling.
He faces Kobe. What's your
I think Charles can finish him.
Islam Makhachev's wrestling footage has also been posted, providing additional information regarding his preparation for the bout against Ilia Topuria. The video highlights his great grappling work, with Islam easily showing off his superior control and capacity to set the fight's pace. His wrestling skills look as slick and polished as ever, playing up his potential to take people down and impose pressure. Daniel Cormier was asked about Islam Makhachev's strength and mentioned a previous grappling session that opened his eyes to how powerful Islam actually is. DC said the second they locked up, he could feel Islam's strength and control right away, describing it as a level of strength. He was clear that this brutal, functional power isn't just for display, it's what makes Islam such an overwhelming presence. In Cormier's opinion, that level of strength would be suffocating for someone like Ilia moving up in weight.
There's been moments where we're in practice and I'm going with Khabib or Islam, and I'm the big guy. So generally, a smaller guy gets on top of you. When you decide it's over, you just throw him off of you. No technique, no skills. You just literally grab him and you kind of throw him off of you. I'm grappling with Islam once and I try to throw him off of me, but he's still there. And so I give him a little harder shove and he's still there. Next thing you know, I'm grappling at 100% because the dude's that strong. But again, I had never really grappled with him in that way, like at a decent pace. So I didn't recognize the strength when he was trying to keep me down.
Ilia Topuria, though, isn't backing down from the challenge either. He recently announced his own game plan, saying boldly that he plans to finish Islam Makhachev right in front of Khabib Nurmagomedov. This assertion indicates the degree of confidence and faith Topuria has in his ability, most notably in his grappling submission game.
Me personally, I would ask him, like, what's your favorite submission? Whatever, I don't know. Dark choke. I'm gonna submit you with that.
So if you ask him what his favorite submission is, you would do that to him?
Yeah.
This is a guy that's trained and coached by Khabib, who, 28-0, stories that he's never lost a round in his life.
I take him close to Khabib. I will submit him closer to Khabib.
You'll submit him in front of Khabib?
Yeah.
Islam made it obvious that he is adequately equipped to deal with any grappling exchanges, and that he possesses the tools to shut down Ilia's wrestling. Makhachev, who is renowned for his superior positioning and control, said that he intends to utilize his size, strength, and experience to not getting caught in submissions.
Wrestling, but when someone have good wrestling skills, he always have trouble with Gamrot, with me, and it's gonna be again. He have good wrestling skill, but if somebody defends, they have a problem also.
As a reaction to Ilia Topuria's aggressive game plan, Joe Rogan cautioned that Ilia could be overlooking Islam Makhachev's size and strength. Rogan highlighted that Islam's power, particularly in clinch and wrestling, would be a huge factor and potentially be a huge edge, making it much harder for Topuria's submission attempt to come to fruition than expected.
Islam Makhachev is huge. I mean, that guy, how he makes 155 is, I don't understand it. Every time I stand next to him, like, how are you 155?
How much do you think he walks around?
He's got to be 190-ish, in the 190 range. He's got to be. That's what he looks like to me.
I never saw him in a person.
Yeah, he's thick. He's thick and big. I mean, he's not a small, he's not a 155-pound man. It's just so silly. I don't understand why they won't just book you and Islam. There's many times that I wish I was running the UFC. I would change so many different things. That would be one of the first things I would change. I'm like, book that fight right away.
Kamaru Usman also appeared to concur with Joe Rogan's opinion, as during a discussion with Islam Makhachev, he noted the big size difference between Islam and Ilia Topuria. Usman, having firsthand knowledge of the difficulties of fighting against bigger opponents, highlighted how Islam's physique might be the deciding factor in this bout.
Me, you, we come here, we mix.
What do you think we're gonna sell many pay-per-view?
Me, you? Yes. Because I come by then, if you have belt, me, you fight.
You come 155.
You be big. No, no, middleweight, you middleweight. You see how big he is?
No, I'm
small. You see how big he is? He taller than me too?
Yeah.
Paddy Pimblett also spoke out on the prospect of an Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria bout, stating he feels Ilia is just too small for Islam. Paddy indicated the considerable size and frame discrepancy between the two men by commenting that whilst Ilia may be talented and ferocious in featherweight territory, going up a weight class to face the likes of a physically and grappling racked beast like Islam could prove quite debilitating.
Yeah, I thought he was going to defend, know what I mean? He's only defended the belt once, and I think it was I know he's knocked a lot of people out, but against Volk had only just recovered from getting head kicked 12 weeks earlier and knocked clean out by Islam. So I think if he fought Volk again, it'd be a different fight. I think he half ran away from Volk. But, you know, you can't really say that because he knocked him out with a punch last year. But I think he knew Volk was going to give him a run for his money. So he thought, no, I'll just vacate and I'll move up. But I don't understand why he's moved up. He's tiny. He's saying he can't make the weight anymore, but he's tiny. He's not even a big featherweight. Never mind big enough for lightweight. If he fights Islam, he'll get manhandled and he'll get submitted. So I don't even understand why he's moved up.
What about, I mean, like, listen, that could be something that you see in the future now that is in your weight class. What do you imagine you do against him?
I think I'm also manhandle him. Know what I mean? Anyone who's ever fought, Tony started to have a boxing match with him.
Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson also offered some good insight into the game preparation work of top-level fighters such as Islam Makhachev. He went on to say that his secret to success is being able to break down each of their opponents meticulously, analyzing each part of their game, strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, and patterns.
I always felt like what made you guys so good above everybody else, ahead of everybody else, is that you guys come from a well-rounded background. Like you say, you can strike, you can grapple, you can do jiu-jitsu, you can clinch, you can wrestle, and you guys take a look at the fighter that you're going to be fighting, you see their weaknesses, and you're like, okay, we're going to attack that. Can we survive in those other areas? Yes, we can, but we know his deficiencies, and we're going to take the fight there, and that's where you guys usually end up beating your opponents.
In addition to Mighty Mouse, Alexander Volkanovski also gave his expert take on the imminent bout between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. He pointed out that Islam would most probably be banking on his grappling, where he would seek to dominate the fight and cancel out Topuria's striking.
That's what is, and he definitely can. Ilia's very, especially with his approach, he really backs his strike and his boxing. He really knows that he will eventually find the chin, and he's stoic till that happens, you know what I mean? He is on task and he doesn't, you know what I mean? He'll go, even if things aren't working, he's still going to try and find it. So I think Islam's going to be a tough matchup for him because Islam can be quite defensive and safe. I think he's going to know with Ilia because he knows Ilia's going to have that puncher's chance. But I just think them later rounds, you know, is going to be very difficult for Ilia. So, but Ilia can, if he puts hands on anyone, like if he traps them, you know, gets them where they don't want to be and lands a nice big shot, it's going to be game over. You know, I mean, he can knock out anyone, even in the lightweight division. But yeah, I just believe that probably would be his only chance, just from what I've seen, right?
With this battle looking more and more like a tangible reality, another lightweight contender, Arman Tsarukyan, chimed in with his opinion, opining that the bout between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria is a 50-50 fight. Arman noted the distinct skills of each man, Islam's grappling and dominance against Ilia's striking and submission, making it hard to predict the outcome.
Легковес Topuria, за счет чего ты считаешь, может составить конкуренцию Исламу?
Потому что он низкий, ему будет тяжело проходить ему. Сильно бьет, на ногах стоит хорошо. В любой момент можно нокаутировать Ислама, потому что я думаю, что если он попадет, он уронит Ислама. Но будет ли Ислам подходить на его дистанцию? Я думаю, что нет. Он будет издалека работать, расстреливать его. Когда Topuria будет подходить своими руками, он будет его переводить, пытаться клинчевать.
В конце июня будет Topuria, скорее всего, драться в легком весе, дебютирует. Непонятно с кем, может быть с Исламом, может нет. Может быть с тобой, может быть с тобой.
Ну, кто знает, если они мне скажут, почему я ворвусь резко в тренинг, в кемп и начну готовиться, соблюдать диету и просто отключиться и готовиться к этому.
А если вариант, типа, бойцом на замену быть, рассматривал бы, если бы это было что-то стоящее?
Да, я бы рассмотрел.
On the possibility of Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria actually being made, MMA Guru sided with Ilia as the possible winner. He cited Topuria's explosive striking, slick jiu-jitsu, and relentless confidence as major factors. Guru believed that Ilia's speed and fight IQ could pose real issues for Islam, particularly early in the bout.
Who wins, Ilia or Islam? Chimaev or DDP? Izzy or Sean? Ilia Topuria, mate. Ilia wins, flatline KO, and then teabags Makhachev's face live on pay-per-view, balls out and everything. They have to cancel the fucking pay-per-view and have an apology message up on the screen via ESPN. UFC loses their sponsorships.
But Michael Bisping took the exact opposite view, strongly advocating for Islam Makhachev in a possible bout with Ilia Topuria. Bisping complimented Topuria's ability, but highlighted Islam's dominance, experience, and all-around game as huge plus factors. He noted Islam has had no problem with elite-level opposition at lightweight, and that he thinks Topuria, having stepped up from featherweight, would have trouble with Islam's size, power, and wrestling pressure.
Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, which is just a sensational blockbuster, and there's some other huge matchups out there as well. Anyway, what do you think? Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be Islam, but what do you think about everything what I said?
Aaron Pico also weighed in, agreeing with Cormier's assessment of Islam Makhachev's strength. As a top-level wrestler himself, Pico stressed how grappling with someone like Islam isn't technically about technique. It's about having to deal with relentless pressure and physical dominance. He concurred that Ilia Topuria, no matter his striking and momentum, would be dealing with a different type of challenge if he got into the cage with Makhachev.
That's what a champion essentially is supposed to look like. Make the calls, go out there, deliver on the calls, then all of a sudden vacates the title. I mean, how do you feel? Because you said earlier, like, you were looking at him and going, there's holes here.
I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would love to see that.
Catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more fight talk.